Have you ever wondered if your life partner is not merely a companion, but a reflection of your own soul? Through the divine teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, we shall explore a sacred truth that you never married another person. You married your own reflection, your karmic teacher. Every soul that enters your life carries a message for your growth. But the one you choose as a life partner becomes the clearest mirror of your inner world. Your husband is not a random companion. He reflects your hidden emotions, unresolved patterns, and forgotten karmas waiting to surface. When he says or does something that triggers deep anger, sadness, or defensiveness within you, life is showing you a part of yourself that still needs healing. In the language of karma, marriage is not just companionship. It is a sacred classroom where two souls polish each other's rough edges. What you admire in him mirrors your own inner light. What you resist in him reveals your own shadow. The truth is, no one can disturb your peace unless there is a wound within you still echoing from the past. The moment you stop seeing your husband as an opponent and start seeing him as a mirror, something miraculous begins to happen. Arguments turn into insights. Pain transforms into awareness. And your relationship becomes a field of spiritual awakening. That is why Yogananda taught that every bond, especially marriage, is designed by divine intelligence to awaken love, patience, and understanding. Instead of asking, "Why is he like this?" ask, "What is this showing me about myself?" The moment you stop fighting the reflection, your soul begins to heal, and love flows once again, pure and unconditional. Before two souls meet as husband and wife, something sacred is already agreed upon in the unseen realms. According to Yogananda, nothing in life happens by chance. Not the person you love, not the one you marry, not even the moments you share. Every connection is part of a divine pattern woven by the law of karma. Before birth, two souls make an unspoken agreement, a spiritual contract to walk together for a time, to teach one another the lessons their souls still need. Patience, compassion, forgiveness, strength, or surrender. This is why your husband is not merely your companion. He is a teacher, a mirror, and at times, a test. His presence awakens what sleeps within you, your deepest fears, attachments, and your capacity to love without condition. Some days, that feels blissful. Other days, it feels like resistance, conflict, or misunderstanding. Yet both are part of the same sacred plan. Yogananda said the soul attracts the exact people and circumstances necessary for its evolution. This means your marriage is not an accident. It is the precise environment your soul needs to grow. When love is easy, you learn to receive. When love is hard, you learn to give. When silence comes, you learn patience. When pain arises, you learn strength. And in that higher understanding, marriage ceases to feel like a burden. You realize you are not trapped in karma, you are transforming it. Then marriage is no longer a battlefield, it becomes a temple, a sacred space where two souls serve each other's awakening. Every soul you meet is a mirror. But your husband is the clearest one. His presence, his words, even his silence reflect the state of your own inner world. This is the great mirror principle of karma. Life shows you again and again what needs healing until you see it with awareness. Yogananda explained that karma is never punishment. It is divine education. Every time you react strongly to your partner, the universe whispers softly, "Look within. Here lies something that still needs light. If he becomes angry, it may awaken the suppressed anger you've never expressed. If he ignores you, it touches the old wound of feeling unseen. If he tries to control you, it might reveal the part of you that still fears losing freedom or power. He reminds her of lives long past, of those incarnations where she may have misused power or surrendered it too completely. None of this is accidental. It is the karmic echo returning for healing. What seems like conflict on the surface is, in truth, the soul's way of whispering. When a woman begins to see her husband as her mirror rather than her opponent, blame turns into awareness. Instead of asking, "Why is he like this?" she asks, "What is he showing me about myself?" That one question changes the vibration of the entire relationship. Reaction turns into reflection. She begins to see that what disturbs her most in him is the very thing that remains unresolved within her. Yogananda said, "When you change yourself, you have changed your world." The outer mirror transforms only when the inner image is purified. The moment this truth is accepted, every argument becomes a doorway to self-knowledge. You no longer fear the reflection, you bow to it. Through it, the soul remembers its forgotten light. In every marriage, there are 3 great karmic lessons: power, surrender, and love. These are the pillars through which souls evolve together over many lifetimes. Every relationship in the science of yoga is designed to bring imbalance back into harmony. If, in a past life, one misused power through control, manipulation, or dominance, this life may bring a partner who challenges that control, forcing humility and the rediscovery of respect. If, in another life, one gave away too much power, silencing truth, living in fear of rejection, this time the partner may unconsciously provoke the rediscovery of voice and self-worth. Karma is never cruel. It is precise and compassionate. It gives us the exact experience needed to dissolve imbalance. Through a husband, life teaches where one stands between dominance and surrender. Some days call for speaking truth. Others call for softening and letting go. Both are acts of inner strength, one active, the other receptive, and at the deepest level, the highest lesson is love. True love is not emotional dependence or control. It is the quiet, patient acceptance that Yogananda called the understanding of the heart. Love matures when you stop loving because of what you receive, and begin loving because love is your nature. The husband becomes part of that divine training, teaching how to love without fear, without ego, without demand. When these lessons are mastered, the relationship itself changes form. It ceases to be a field of karmic conflict and becomes a space of sacred partnership. Through the refinement of power, the awakening of surrender, and the purification of love, the soul regains its balance and moves closer to divine freedom. The ego's first instinct is always to react, to defend, explain, or attack. But the soul's path begins when one chooses observation over reaction. When a husband's words or actions stir a storm within, that moment is holy. It is not punishment. It is an invitation to see oneself more clearly. Yogananda often said, "Peace is the altar of the soul. Only in peace can truth be seen." When emotion arises, pause, breathe, and be still. Silence is not weakness. It is spiritual intelligence. Then, gently look at the feeling within and ask, "What is this really about?" Perhaps his tone doesn't wound you, but the ancient memory of being unheard does. Perhaps his distance touches the old wound of abandonment. By naming the emotion, you lessen its power. Awareness begins to dissolve what reaction would only strengthen. The next step is to bless the reflection silently, saying, "Thank you for showing me what still needs healing." It sounds simple, yet this is the essence of spiritual mastery, transforming pain into purification. Instead of demanding change from another, you change yourself, and as your vibration changes, your reality begins to mirror back that peace. With time, this becomes natural. Where once you argued, now you listen. Where once you resisted, now you understand. The mirror remains, but your perception evolves. You realize your husband's behavior does not define your peace, your response does. That awareness gives true freedom. For when you stop reacting and begin reflecting, karma begins to unfold. You no longer live under its weight, you live above it, as a conscious, loving soul. Karma feels heavy only until it is understood. The moment awareness enters, karma softens, and what once felt like pain begins to reveal itself as grace. Yogananda said beautifully, "Love is the light that dissolves all walls between souls." When you stop seeing your husband as the source of pain and begin to see him as the light revealing your inner truth, transformation begins. When you begin to see your husband not as a source of pain, but as a divine instrument for your growth, a sacred transformation begins within you. The walls of blame and resentment start to fall, and in their place, a quiet, mature love, steady and compassionate, arises. Grace reveals itself the moment you stop fighting what life is showing you. What once seemed unbearable now becomes your greatest teacher. The arguments that once hurt become lessons in patience. The silences that once frightened you become invitations to inner peace. The distance that once felt cold becomes a call to reconnect with your own heart. This is how karma transforms, not through escape, but through understanding. Sometimes, when the lesson is complete, the energy between two souls naturally shifts. The same partner who once seemed to challenge your growth may now rise beside you, or the karmic bond may gently loosen, allowing both souls to part with peace, not bitterness. In both cases, grace remains guiding you softly toward freedom. When karma turns into grace, love loses its conditions. You no longer depend on another's behavior to remain calm. You realize that peace was always within you, waiting to be remembered. In that awareness, you become a channel of divine love, still, forgiving, and free. From that moment onward, your marriage or its memory becomes sacred, for it has fulfilled its highest purpose, to awaken the soul into grace. When you begin to see from this higher vision, you understand that marriage is not merely a union between two people. It is a divine play between two souls. Each of you is performing a role written by karma and directed by the hand of God. Your husband is not separate from you. He is another expression of the same universal consciousness, speaking a different story, yet part of your shared evolution. Yogananda often reminded his students that life is a cosmic drama, and we are the actors, learning to play our parts with awareness and grace. When you see your husband through this divine perspective, judgment fades away. You no longer label him as right or wrong, better or worse. You see a soul, just like yourself, walking his own path. Even his mistakes begin to make sense in the larger rhythm of learning and awakening. You realize you are not here to change him, but to walk beside him as both of you awaken to your true nature. This is the turning point where love transforms into compassion, pure, patient, and infinite. Anger fades. Control softens. The need to win disappears. You begin to see both of you as divine travelers returning to the same source. Even your most difficult moments become sacred, for they are the chisel that shapes the soul. In this understanding, marriage becomes meditation, a daily practice of seeing God in another being. And when you can look into your husband's eyes and silently say, "You and I are one in spirit," the karmic story ends and divine love begins. This is true freedom, when two souls remember they were never truly separate, only playing different roles in an eternal divine play. So, dear seeker, the next time your husband says something that stirs your emotions, pause for a moment, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper within, "This too is me. This too is love teaching me." For life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Every word, every silence, every moment in your marriage is the universe's way of polishing your soul until it shines in divine light. When this truth dawns upon you, your heart softens, and what once felt like pain begins to look like divine grace. The truth is, you never married a man. You married your reflection, your teacher, your karmic mirror sent by the divine to awaken you. And when you begin to see your relationship through this sacred lens, something eternal shifts. Where there was conflict, peace begins to flow. Where there was sorrow, compassion begins to grow. You realize that love was never about possession, it was always about evolution. Your energy, your intention, and your presence help carry this message of divine awareness to those who need it most. Tell me, beloved one, what shall we explore next? Would you like to understand how soulmates recognize each other across lifetimes? Or how karmic bonds can be released with grace? Share your choice below, and together we shall journey into that mystery. Until then, remain calm, remain aware, and remember, love is the highest yoga of the soul.